Shout out to Ben on Studio and Lake. This is a piece of driftwood I found on the beach last week. I had it drying out by my heat register, my baseboard heater. I don't know what type of wood it is. I think it's some kind of fruit wood, like a cherry tree or plum tree or something. But anyways, I already cut it out the shape of the Woodspirit. This is going to be how to carve a Woodspirit with your Dremel. This whole video is going to be a voiceover, and I'm going to go over everything. It's some part just sped up quite a bit, but I slowed down, I think, the key parts. There's a thickness I got in it. It's about 1.5 inches all the way around. So, and on this Woodspirit, it's for the very beginners, how to carve with a Dremel. Always have a center line. Now, there's not going to be any beard rolling off its face. And I think it's a lot easier to do a Woodspirit so you don't see the beard rolling off its face. And like, I'll show you. Where do you want to put your eyes? I'll show you how I do that after. So this will be kind of my eyes, then my forehead, and it'll have a little cut thing above it. It kind of looks like hair after. And drawing on your nose. The center line's really important. Make sure you get it in the center of the piece too. So there I am drawing on the nose. Like I said, this is kind of back to the basics for the very beginner. Always keep those two pitches the same and the same length on the nose there. You see it's like an upside down triangle I do. It's just a formula that I always use. It seems to work out for me. Now you see those lines I put down the side there. Now I'm going to cut down. If you want to do your beard off the face, rolling off the face, well, don't put those lines down there, but I put those lines down there to remind myself that this is what I want to do and make it kind of look like the Woodspirit's inside the log. Now, here's a Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr. It's my go-to burr, running the Dremel flex shaft with the Dremel 4000 hooked up to a foot pedal just for on and off. I hate those things. They always fly off. The foot pedal is just on and off, and I suggest you get yourself a cheap foot pedal for on and off so you don't have to keep on reaching over to the Dremel itself and turning it on and off. Now I sped this up. I think it's 2 times the speed. I start off by cutting in the forehead and carving it back. Now you can see I put the cuts down the sides. There's a knot hole there that kind of gets to me a little bit, kind of annoys me. Put some tape on your finger because the flex shaft will dent your finger, and I don't know, I just put tape there. It's special stuff somebody sent me that I got on there now. So cutting the forehead back. The farther that you cut that forehead back to the tip of the nose, that's how you can really get the nose to stick farthest off the face. Now I'm cutting across the eyebrow line. You don't have to cut too deep right now. And for the very beginners, when you're cutting with these Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr, if you want to get the Kutzall Extreme Flame Burrs, just go to the description below. It will take you to the Kutzall site. You can save yourself 5%. You don't want to carve too deep using these burrs in hardwood because you can break your flex shaft. So there I got my first cut in, just kind of making sure everything's same on both sides. You'll see me jump back from side to side. Sometimes these videos, how to carve the Woodspirits or any kind of videos, hard to film because normally it's like you're like a tattoo artist and you're jumping all over the place trying to make things equal. But when you're making these videos, you just kind of want to stick to one side at a time. So there's the depth that I got on below the nose. Now I'm going to draw my mustache on. Notice how I didn't draw my mustache on before I cut the nose in? See how I bring the mustache off right to the side? And the inner part of the mustache where the lip will be, see how I drew those lines down there? So I've got a coffee break. Now those lines I brought down from the nose just makes it so the inside of the mustache is the same distance from the nose. See, I'm cutting that deep down the side there. Excuse me. I'll cut deep down the side there. Now if you look at the Woodspirit side of the face, there's no room for the mustache to come off the face. Pretend it's hidden in the wood off to the sides. So I see how I'm cutting that mustache deeper in there. See how the cheekbones are raised now? So I'm going to cut this mustache deep in there too. I feel like I'm rushed. I'm doing this voiceover because I sped this video up. And I really didn't spend a lot of time on this Woodspirit. I look at the two sides. like the smile where your nostrils will be beside the nose, I cut below the nose again and take it down farther. Yeah, I'm going to carve off my inside mustache line. It's okay. Just draw it back on. You can do it that way, or you can do it this way. See how I'm doing those lines down there again? Make sure it comes off equal on both sides. The inside of the mustache. So all you see is the mustache there. There's no beard on the outside. Do your cut, then remove wood. That's what Dremel carving is. Well, probably all wood carving is cut and remove, cut and remove. I didn't do any zooming on this video. I just kind of left it natural. I think this Woodspirit took me 25 minutes. Now you see the nose is short there. I didn't give it any room. There, I'm cutting in the bottom lip. Now dig in each corner there too. I'll show you how that affects it later. See, I'm digging in each corner, removing the wood. Now I'm going to cut in the bottom lip. A smaller lip, bottom lip, so it looks a lot better than a bigger bottom lip. I learned that from Stephen Kanzora. And you round off the bottom lip too. You can give them teeth. You can give whatever you want. Just keep cutting deep in those corners and rounding it off. Makes your face seem not so flat. And when you do wood burning later, the wood burning stays in there and adds depth. But I'm going to show you in a minute here how to make that because the nose, well, it's small, so the nose is small. It's a big. This guy has a big honker. The nose is small, so you don't have much room to carve real eyes in there. Anyways, there's the round lip. Now here we talk about the nose. Now what I'm going to do is carve those eyebrows off. There's not much room to carve real eyes in there. Carve those eyebrows off, recarve the bridge of the nose, and make the nose longer to give yourself more room to carve eyes. Just cut beside the bridge of the nose, carry it on. Remove that wood there. You can do it any way you want. Cut the eyes again, shape them when you want. I shaped them this time. Remove the wood. There you go. That's how you make your nose longer. Sometimes you have to cut the forehead back larger too. My foreheads are always smaller than bigger. Bigger foreheads look like mongoloids, I think. So see how much more room I got in the cheeks there? Just a simple fix. There I am cutting in my eyebrows, removing the wood, taking the thing backer. So like I said, this is very beginning Dremel. Well, actually, it's more advanced, but I'm trying to explain it back to the basics. Now, there's a line. This is where I'm going to put the nostrils. Just Carve Rob pointed out to me before that I put my nostrils in pretty low. So I try to always, it's basically, it's trial and error. The more you do, the more you're going to figure it out. See how I cut beside the bridge of the nose too? Your bridge of the nose doesn't have to stick that far off the face either. It can be really tight to the face. Jumping from side to side. So here I go with the nostril. I'll do a video pretty soon, a real video back to the basics for the very beginners, how to carve noses. I was kind of, to be honest with you, I was kind of struggling with this nose a little bit, just the positioning of it. Because sometimes you can cut too deep, which it seems like the mustache is pushed back, which push back means carve deeper, is pushed back a little bit too far. Now I could make that nose smaller if I wanted to, just by cutting the bottom of it. So the nose doesn't really stick too far off the face. So here I am carving deeper below the nose. So I didn't have room to carve nostrils, so I carved it deeper. That means that I'm going to carve my bottom lip off, and I'm going to have to recarve that in too. Recarving the nostrils in. Just trying my best to make both sides equal. And, carving deeper means having to see how I'm carving the bottom lip back in there again. It's all trial and error, and I promise everybody that wants to learn how to Dremel carve, the more that you do, the better you're going to get. I personally think knife carving is a lot harder than Dremel carving, because knife and chisel carving, because you have to follow the grain. Now, using these Kutzall bits or saber tooth bits, you don't really have to follow the grain. You just kind of carve and go any which direction you want. See, I'm cutting deeper on the sides there. There you go. It's kind of got the punched in looking effect. I tried to explain on one of my older videos, but it doesn't. All right, I'm going to carve the cheekbones in. Just go from side to side. Sometimes you have to look at it at different angles and you can't see your other cheekbone, but just move it around. Do it until you think you're happy with it. And when you're happy with it, that's when you stop. That's good enough. And if you want to touch it up later, touch it up later. So you can see how big this nose is. The most, there I'm cutting in the nostrils, cutting in the nostrils. Oops, I should have had my thing on mute. Rounding the nose off. This guy's nose is like, this is half of the face. His nose is so big. It's okay. It gives him character. The smaller and thinner you make the noses, the more realistic it's going to look. See, I'm just running around, cleaning everything up. Nose sticks a little bit farthest off the face. Remove the wood in there. See, if you want to get that nose to really pop off, just carve those eyebrows down and then recarve them in. So what this is going to be beard hairs. It's a two-part process. I'm going to cut deep lines in here. I actually cut them a little bit too deep. I'm going to cut deep lines with this Kutzall extreme flame burr, and then I'm going to use my aluminum cutting burr. I should have rounded off those edges. This is how you give your beard some movement so it's not just so flat. But I should have rounded the edges because I was struggling with my aluminum cutting bit. I'm going to show you guys which aluminum cutting bits you should buy off Amazon. They're the best ones. I've used them for years, and you know what you're getting. If you buy the aluminum cutting bits on Amazon, sometimes you don't know what you're getting. So the nose doesn't stick that far off the face. People aren't going to look at it sideways and say, hey, the nose is not sticking farthest off the face. It's just a good practice. That's what I like to practice. You don't have to. Because if you want to get the nose to stick farther off the face, it's a lot. So that Kutzall bit got stuck in the collet inside my flex shaft. Now, this is what I got, this little butane torch. Now, this is what I do. You see that plastic thing there that unscrews? I kept that on there because if you take that off there and burn that collet, you're going to screw up your thread. So leave that plastic thing on there. It's not burnt. You got to get that nut really hot. So because heat expands metal. So when you expand that nut, it's going to be able to release off those threads. This is what I do when the friggin' burr gets stuck in the collet. That's a good indicator that it's time for a new collet. The collets inside there do get worn out. They do get sticky and gooey, and the burrs get stuck in there. See that rubber thing? I'm just showing you guys. Keep that plastic thing on there so you don't wreck the threads if you like to have that on there. So I'm heating it up some more. Heat it up good. You know, you got to make sure that you don't heat it too much, that you don't melt the plastic things on the inside of the flex shaft. But if your burr's stuck in there, and it happens, get yourself a little butane torch, heat it up, let it sit for a few minutes, get your wrench, and it should expand and then unlock. Don't burn yourself. Now watch this. Now, another thing too, leave your burrs out. I was going to say, leave your burrs out like 1 millimeter, because if that nut, if you can unscrew it, which is unscrewing, my burr's still not coming out, and that nut is loosening now. See, I want to show you. Do I show you how? It's just out just a little bit. I'll show you in a minute. See that little gap in there where it hits the nut? Just leave it out that much, because if you can't pull it out, tap it on your table, push it down, boom, there it will come out, because you got that little bit to push it in and release it. There's a good tip for the beginning Dremel carvers. Hey, just carve up. Now, these are the UFO, whatever these are called. They're inspected in China. Trust me, they're inspected, but these are the best ones. Don't be confused with the metalworking burrs. The aluminum cutting burrs have the bigger carving flutes. Now, I bought aluminum cutting burrs. that did not have very big flutes. They're tight and they're just kind of like the metalworking burrs. This is the one I use to do beard hairs. It's got the cutter on the bottom. It's a cylinder type. I use the edge of it. I'll just show you on my hand here. I just use the edge of it and let the burr do the work. Now sometimes you need to move this bit here works with the grain. So it's like knife carving and chisel carving. You got to find which direction the grain's going down. You want to do it down the stairs. I should have kind of zoomed in here, but I didn't. And you guys will have to get these burrs and just kind of learn yourself. And just let the bit do the cutting. Sometimes push a little bit harder, get some more depth in there. Now around those deep cuts that I did, to give it a two parts, like a beard hair, make it more wavy, I should have rounded the edges off because I was kind of struggling with it a bit. But you see I'm moving the carving around to find the way that it's cutting good with the grain. It cuts against the grain, but it's better to find the grain. So there it's cutting like up the stairs. If you want to, carving down the stairs with a knife it's a saying, carve down the stairs. You can't carve up the stairs or you'll catch the grain and you'll chip it. So I'm just letting the burr do the work. I spent about 10 minutes on these. I spent more on these beard hairs with this bit than I did on the whole Woodspirit itself. I cut it short. You just let it roll over the edges and down into the gully, then up the other edge. Here I sped it up a bit. Just it's boring, but the more you do, the better you're gonna get at doing that for the very beginning Dremel carvers too. I gotta say, very beginning Dremel carvers, because hopefully the algorithm picks it up and sends it out to the very beginning Dremel carvers. I got a group on Facebook. It's called Beginning Dremel Carvers. I probably will post this video into that group so people will see. So this makes it so you got like nice little fine beard hairs and mustache hairs. You can see the beard on the inside of the Woodspirit's mustache, but really not really on the outside. And trust me, anybody can do this. And your Woodspirits do not have to have real eyes. I know everybody struggles with the eyes. I know everybody struggles with This is a cheap 3-point cutter from China. You buy them in packs of 5, I think, different sizes. I'm just going to do some quick textures above the forehead. Just pretend that would be my chainsaw bar. Just something I seen Ryan Cook do. So Ryan Cook's a professional chainsaw carver. So I just do it. Cut. That's like an undercut to separate the forehead from the hair things up top there, the branches, whatever you want to call them. See how I cut down beside the face too? Just gives it some more depths and some more shadows. Now I'm going to even carve real eyes with this. See how I'm plugging into each corner? Sorry, I should have zoomed in here. And I kept this real speed to show you how fast, the more you do, the better you're going to get. Plug into each corner, make it look like it's round inside there. Look, it already looks like eyes. It's kind of round. These 3-point cutters, you got to be careful. You don't want them to hit your skin. They'll cut you. And they're super aggressive. So, like again, the more I'm cutting eyelids in now and a bottom eyelid, the more time you spend using these in that Dremel flex shaft, the more time you spend using that Dremel flex shaft, the better of a carver you're going to become. Now, I suggest people that are carving just holding the Dremel itself to get yourself the Dremel flex shaft. Buy the cheap Wen one if you can't afford a Dremel, but buy the Dremel flex shaft and hook it up to the Wen. I got lots of videos in my playlist showing how they fit. So you got your eyeball inside there and just cut your eyelids down to kind of go. They don't need to be huge. I'm just going to plug this guy so he's looking sideways. The easiest eyes are to do carving looking one way or another way. Just giving him some textures on his face. I learned this stuff from Kevin at Sticks and Stones. You can do whatever. Your Woodspirit doesn't need to look like a wizard. As long as you can get that nose to stick off and put some eyebrows on there, you can make any kind of face you want. But look how fast I carved those eyes in there. A year ago, probably would have taken, or maybe 2 years, probably would have taken me about an hour to do these eyes. I promise you, I'm not a natural born artist. You can tell by my art, but the more that you do, the better you're going to get. Give them some eyebrow hairs. He already has age lines up above. I did it with the plug cut under the lip. Separate the lip from the mustache. Just use a tip and do it real light. Plug into those corners a little bit deeper. Sign your pieces, everybody. Even if it's your first carving, sign it, put it away in a closet, pull it out 6 months later and keep at it. You'll see how much better you've gotten in 6 months. And so that J wasn't too good. So there you go. Jordan Johnson, 2025. This is just a free piece of wood I found on the beach. Now here is the flap sander. It's a sanding mandrel. There, my playlist. It's a cloth back sandpaper. Turn your Dremels down or you'll see your Dremels smoking. I've wrecked lots of Dremels by using this, not having patience, and turn my Dremel at full speed. Next thing you know, I look over at my Dremel's smoking. So this is a cheap, easy way to sand fast. It's typically not the best way to sand is using sandpaper just with your hand, but this works good, and you can shape with it too. Look. So I thought I'd just pull out that little butane torch again, burn inside the deep corners where beside the lip there where I talked about. I dug deeper. And, you know, when I first started wood carving, I burnt my wood like crazy, and I wrecked lots of carvings. I still wreck carvings by burning too much. You can see here I don't burn that much. I just burned some little areas. I burn deeper where it's deeper. I burn that stuff above the head because that's not part of the Woodspirit's face. Just give it some little shots of the burn and gives it a little bit more character. But yeah, if you're carving soft wood and you burn it, you can burn away all your detail. What's that super soft wood that I bought just a long time ago? Oh, it's that super soft wood, super light, but it's expensive to buy. I burnt it, my Woodspirits, and I burnt my whole Woodspirit's my face. The Woodspirit's face is melted. I forget the name of the wood. There I am, just cleaning up a little bit more. The flap sander. See how those burns are left inside where I carve deeper, because your sander can't reach in there. So I'm trying to hit all the burns just to clean it up a little bit more. See how I'm trying to get in there to sand that burn away where the lip is on the left and the right side? Not happening. That's pretty well it. You know, I've made like 10,000 Woodspirits. So that's, if you make 10,000 Woodspirits, hopefully yours will look better than mine, but that's not. Now here's another piece of wood. Just Carve Rob side view. Keep those videos coming, Just Carve Rob. It's a cool piece. Got a branch coming off of it. I got another piece of wood I'm gonna show you here. And this, I'm just going back to the very basics. I'm going to carve a Woodspirit in it. I'm not filming, but I'm going to show you. I still carve Woodspirits like I did when I first started. Here it is, another piece of shitty wood I found on the beach. I think it's cottonwood or something. It's got some bug holes in it. But boof, there's just a simple Woodspirit. Start out carving them like this. Hollow out the eyes. They're sellers. You carve something like that I'm holding right now, and you put it on your Facebook, and all your friends, I'm telling you right now, will be amazed. There you go for the beginning Dremel wood carvers. Carve Fusion. Over and out. There's an eagle.